Alrighty. All right, guys, we're finally here. Welcome to take one of the Steampunk Philosopher podcast. This has been a while in the making. I'm just rolling this footage right now just to test out the new set and the green screen and everything and wear the wear the garb for the first time, the mantle, if you will. See how everything goes. I'm very, very happy with how this turned out so far, quite frankly. I do want to see how the frame rate goes, which is why I'm shooting as well. You guys may never even see this. I'm really just kind of talking to check my levels and just see how everything is going and flowing more or less. So, as you can see here, co-host, Muscully Skulkin. This, guys, is Muscully Skulkin. He's going to be with me the entire way. I'm going to get buried with this fucking guy. Watch. I guarantee it. I love this thing. He's going to always be sitting on top of some books here. So right here we have Brothers Karamazov, The Alchemist, and Carl Jung. So as the name suggests, I do love philosophy. I've read a lot of books. When it comes to psychology, philosophy, it doesn't really matter. You name it, I probably read it if it's nonfiction, more or less. I love sales, anything related to economics, finance. These are all disciplines of psychology as well, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm always going to be kind of explaining my thought processes on things. And the reason why this show even exists at all is because I just wanted an outlet for creative expression, more or less. I don't have a family. I never plan on having kids or anything like that. I'm a guy who lived a very niche, interesting, weird, fucked up life. You'll get more into that later, but think cult. Yeah, if that's any indication. So at any time, at any point, or at any rate, I basically had to overcome a lot of shit, and because of all the stuff that happened to me, I sought a lot of wisdom and knowledge and understanding to help me get past and get over all the damage and like neuroses that were basically installed inside of me from these abusive environments. We'll put it that way. Faulty thought processes, bad logic, et cetera, et cetera. People taking advantage of me and the people around me, and just kind of how it goes in those situations. But anyway, the good that came out of it was it turned me into a seeker, and hence why I know all this stuff that I know now. But I just didn't want it to die inside with me, and I spent such a long period of my life gaining all of it, and I still am to this day, and I'm still learning new things that I just wanted to chronicle it somewhere. So think of this like a public diary, right? A private diary made public, and I just added a little bit of flair to it to make it a little bit more romanticized and entertaining, right? So why not have fun with it, right? Not all therapy has to be depressing and sad. So also, I did also kind of want to infuse a little bit of authenticity back into the world. I mean, I know I'm wearing basically a costume, and how is that authentic, Nick? Because the way I express myself and the way that I'm going to carry myself throughout my time on this show. I think that too many people are controlling the narrative and basically trying to protect their image or portray themselves to be a certain thing or act a certain way or try to, to get attention by behaving in whatever popularized ways that there are now, or blah, blah, blah. And everyone's just kind of following each other. And there's no grace, there's no mercy, there's no forgiveness anymore. And there's just like this real crisis of you either have like zero testosterone and you're just basically like not even a man, or there's the other version of it, which is like the overconfident sociopath, never wrong, always feels good, always winning, hyper lunatic, fake persona. So I'm like, there's got to be a balance brought back to reality. And I mean, I'm not saying that I'm the most balanced person, not by a long shot. You're going to find that out as well. I'm a very duplicitous man. Basically, I live on two sides of extremes, more or less. So anyone that knows me knows I'm a very intense guy. You'll get to know that as well. But the point is that I'm never going to try to pretend like I'm never unhappy, or I'm never confused, or I'm never sad, or I'm never anxious. And I'm also never going to just be, a victim either. I'm a very confident guy. I'm a very strong-willed person. I'm a soldier. I've been through a lot. I got a tough spirit. All these things are part of me as well. But I'm going to show you throughout this time that you're going to see my ups and downs, my twists and turns. Sometimes I'm going to be right. Sometimes I'm going to be wrong. Sometimes I'm going to say great things. Sometimes I'm going to make mistakes and say the wrong thing. This is the journey of human nature, and we need to remember that everyone goes through it. So what I seek to inspire, more or less, is not only authenticity and freedom of thought and expression, but also the ability to be wrong and the ability to not be afraid to grow and make mistakes in public, and the ability to forgive. When someone does make a mistake or does say something stupid, what really matters is the heart of the person. Like, take all this time that we've all been fighting, this country's been divided, right? So I understood the entire way through, even though whatever my opinions were counter to whatever the other side, quote unquote, side's opinions are, whatever. I never thought for one second that even though I didn't agree with those people, I never thought that they didn't mean well. I mean, some of them were in my own family. I had knockdown, drag it out fights with my sister where we were on opposite sides of the fence. But guess what? We were both operating from the exact same place. Both of us, it was in our heart to serve the best interests of ourselves and the entire country and the world, more or less. And we both thought that we had the right prescription for that. And even though that we had opposite prescriptions, we were trying to cure the same illness. And I think that that's what's lost in society these days. I think that's what's gone missing. Is I don't think that, like we're all inherently evil. Even if you have the wrong idea or the wrong answer, you know what I'm saying? That doesn't make your heart evil or your intention wrong, more or less. And the bottom line is, we can all have strong opinions and we can all believe in what we want to believe, but almost none of us really truly know. The only time that you don't know shit until you put it to the test. So like we argue in society and like they hurl their, beliefs on this side and then these guys hurl their beliefs on this side or whatever. But this is going to go on for all of eternity until something gets put to the test. So what really needs to happen is we need to have understanding, grace, and mercy for both sides. And we kind of need to like come to the table, work together, and take turns putting these ideas to the test so we can knock them down one by one and find out what actually really works instead of just having this infinity theoretical argument of what we believe is the right solution, but we can never actually implement it into a real world situation to see if it's valid or not because no one will take action because we're just going to fight forever. So basically, like, that's where I think that, like, forgiveness and grace and mercy, all the things I keep repeating, beating this drum over and over again, are so important because I think it's going to allow us the ability to actually come together and try these things out so we can move in a forward motion progression for the sake of humanity and the sake of our children and our grandchildren and basically the betterment of the future. I think that we're in an axis point in history where the old methodologies and the old hierarchies and the old power structures and all that are basically useless at this point in time. They're rotting. They're a rotting carcass collapsing inside themselves. And just like any dying animal, they're going to fight with tooth and nail and venom and scratch and claw and bite to keep themselves alive. And I think that everyone is pretty much aware of that at this point in time. But we're all kind of stuck in this weird whirlpool of like fear and like familiarity and dogma and Plato's Cave. That'd be a good one. Maybe I'll do my first episode on Plato's Cave. It's the literal perfect analogy for all this. But anyway, so I think that by opening up this dialogue with you guys and having these discussions, even though they're it's like I built the channel and they're my thoughts that I'm going to be leading with, that's not what this is about. We're supposed to engage together. That's why I actually made this. I'm just basically, I'm the one serving the ball, but I need you guys to volley back, more or less. So I would love to have some great discussions in the comments as well, because the voices that are going to be on this show and the voices that are surrounding me, more or less, are the ones that no one's hearing from at all, or not even getting a chance to talk or discuss. And even if it doesn't go mainstream and we don't become rich and famous, we can at least. Sorry, I'm misspeaking. I've been talking all day. I'm in sales. I was on the phone for 9 hours, so I'm actually pretty shot. But it's neither here nor there. But forgive me for the misspeaking and bad utterances. But like I was saying anyway, so I think that this would be a great place for us to create a forum for us to have deeper discussions and more meaningful conversations. As a person who's not perfect, by the way, I'm not like Tony Robbins or like whatever, one of these like polished career guru guys, if you will. I'm a guy who is consistently transforming, who has come from a low place, who has reached peaks, who has hit valleys, who has changed, who is continuing to change, whose wisdom is expanding ever. So the more I get older, I'm pushing 40 years old now. I see things in an entirely different way. And I just want to share that experience with you instead of pretend like I've made it all the way to the end and then make everyone try to follow me so I can like take a buck off you or some shit. Why don't we try to like actually grow and evolve together? I'm sure that you guys are going to learn a lot of things from me throughout my time on this camera. And here's the thing. I'm sure I'm going to learn a ton of stuff from you guys too. I spend my life focused on a certain scope of things, right? Because that's all the time and the attention that I have to spend. But there's all kinds of other people out there just as smart, smarter, 10 times wiser than I'll ever be, that spent their whole lives focused on whatever was in their scope of attention, more or less, things that I could never absorb and take in. So all these different wisdoms from all these different people who have been out there focusing on all these different things all have something to say. And if we could all say it together and weave this tapestry together, we can create this giant one-piece blanket made out of the essence of all of our beings. And that's going to have the power to take this species even further still, to enlighten us, to get over these fucking medieval horseshit ways of running this world and of power structures and all this crap and oppression and repression and all this, into an expressive, communicative new future of better people with kinder hearts that understand that a kind heart does not mean less power. The people that seek to control and to destroy, these are fearful people. These are insecure people. These are people that are terrified of the truth. So we need to start talking. We need to start getting back together. So let's forget about the TV for a little while and whatever the fucking 5 narratives that they pick for everyone to talk about are. And I say, why don't we take the ball back, come over here and have our own discussions, right? So, I mean, I hope that you guys are interested in this, or as interested in it as I am. Obviously, I'm very interested. I mean, I went and made purchases, right? But I really do just want to have a good time with you guys, and I just hope that something good will come out of this. I would like this to be my whole heart and soul buried into this. I want it to be chronicled and immortalized on this show and this series, more or less, to whatever impact that it has. It's just strongly on my heart that I do it, so I'm doing it. So, yeah, anyway, guys, I'll see you out there. This has been a mock episode of the Steampunk Philosopher with your host, Steampunk Nicky. Steampunk Nicky Pringles coming to the fucking game, baby. Muscully Skulkin, the best co-host there ever was. Let's fucking go, baby. No one's ready for this shit. Oh, oh.